Okay, here's a aerobic power training example that I'm doing here using mixed modalities. So mainly we're using different movements as opposed to one cyclical movement like a run, bike, swim, row, or like jumping on a cardio machine or something crazy like that. Anyway, for this example, this is a 7-minute effort at 90% of an aerobic pace. Okay, so aerobic means we want to sustain it. If you watch the reps, the breathing, the flow, pacing, you could see that it is going to be sustainable throughout this 7-minute bout, and that's why we call it aerobic. Now, for aerobic power training session, for this one right here, you do anywhere from 2 to 5 bouts of this 7-minute effort with about 5 minutes of rest in between. And then again, anywhere from 2 to 5 based on your current fitness level and how you want to go about it in your training. This particular training session involves 5 power cleans, 10 ab mat sit-ups, and 15 double unders. Now the goal with this obviously is to just, we're going unbroken and an even pace. We want to pin it at that 90% effort. Now if you're just starting something like this, you're gonna have to see for yourself what 90% feels like. 100% is not what we want. That's where you're just gasping for air, you're pausing, and things like that. What you want to do with this MAP session, or maximum aerobic power training session, is use a light weight where you can go unbroken, and you don't want to have that weighted movement as a limiting factor. Again, just watch the pacing and the flow, and you want to keep that even pace throughout. Your heart rate's going to be high, you'll be breathing heavy, but you don't want to get to that point where you're gasping for air and you dip in that anaerobic state by using too heavy of a weight. So with this one, again, the goal's unbroken, going unbroken and keeping an even pace. This training session, again, this is just one 7-minute bout of it. You'd be doing anywhere from 2 to 5 rounds with about a 5-minute rest in between. Now these movements, of course, can be mixed and matched. A good example would be using also weighted movement, some sort of body weight movement, and then a cyclical or monostructural movement. So in this example, I'm doing power cleans, sit-ups, and double unders as the cyclical or monostructural. But for the weighted movements, you could do something like thrusters, kettlebell swings, something of that nature. Body weight, you could knock out even toes to bars, burpees. And then for the monostructural or cyclical, you could use an air dyne if you have one, row, or you could even do a short run. But again, with these MAP training sessions, you don't want to feel like you're basically about to fall out. Okay, the goal here, breathing. Focus on the breathing and the pacing and keeping it sustainable. That's the biggest thing. We want to keep it all sustainable. Now, sometimes we have a point where you want to try to go heavier. Again, the weighted movement is going to be based on your current strength. We have guys who could have no problem using 135 on that bar for power cleans, and for them it is sustainable relative to their strength and current fitness level. But you do not want to have that weighted movement to be a limiting factor for you. Again, just watching through, I'm trying to keep the pace as quick and even as possible. You don't want to speed up on one movement and then totally break it down on the other movement. The goal is pacing here. doing this sort of training once a week or so, in addition to your regular training, would be great in your programming. We're changing up our programming at my gym, and we'll be adding more of these map sessions throughout the week, maximum of maybe 2, where we kind of go subpar, like I said, at 90% of an aerobic pace or a sustainable pace, not 100% all out all the time. Okay, we're getting away from that, because you never want to have workouts where you're programming 100% effort every single day. That's just going to lead to burnout, injuries, and of this sort. You want to really minimize that, and you do that with just smart programming. So with these map sessions, we want it light, paced out evenly, and you want to pin it right at that 90%. Again, this example was just a 7-minute effort. After this, I'll rest 5 minutes by walking around, not sitting down or gasping for air. Your breathing is going to be heavy, but not to the point where you're gasping for air or wanting to fall out. So after this 7-minute bout, walk around for 5 minutes and do it again, anywhere from 2 to 5 bouts or so, with about a 5-minute rest in between. And the goal for each one is to keep it on pace and sustainable. So this is just an example of a MAP training session, maximum aerobic power session. Hope you learned and will implement this within your own workouts, just like we do at our gym.